Morning grade 4s, I hope you're all well. Today we're going to be doing English, so get your English textbook as well as your workbook ready for me. So the first thing we are going to look at is auxiliary verbs. Now you remember what a verb is. A verb is a doing word, and we can test if a word is a verb by adding the words can I in front of it. So for example, can I run, can I walk? Then the words run and walk will then be the verb. But an auxiliary verb is a bit different. So it basically gives you the tense of that verb. It helps the verb to put it in a specific tense. So, for example, am, are, be, can, could, does, had, has, and have. Now, on page 85, there is a list of auxiliary verbs that you can go and have a look at for you to memorize when you get it in a test, perhaps. Okay, so let's quickly try and identify the auxiliary verb in the sentence. We are playing. The verb is playing. Now, what is helping the verb? The word are. Okay, because it puts it in a tense. I shall drive. Future simple tense. So the verb is drive, and the word that it helps is shall. It's usually in the front of the verb. And now let's have a look at prepositions. Now, prepositions connects words to more information about the place, time, and direction. So you can ask yourself questions like when, where, what, how, at what time, and things like that. So let's quickly do an example. Can you buy me a gift? Space, my birthday. So the answer there will be for my birthday. For my birthday. Okay. Another way to look at prepositions is it is the position of the thing that is talked about in the sentence. So the subject. So let's have a look at another example. My mom was mad because I left all space, my clothes, space, the floor. Now it might seem like you don't need this first space, because you can still say my mom was mad because I left all my clothes, but that is incorrect because you need to use the word of. All of my clothes and the floor on the floor. Okay. Now we're going to have a look at conjunctions. Now conjunctions are connecting words. It connects two sentences, two phrases, or even two words together. So examples include and, but, so, then, words like because. Okay, so there's two different ways in which we could ask you this. You will see this in your exercise as well. So the first way is giving you two sentences and a word in brackets at the end. So, he completed the course, full stop. He received a certificate, and in brackets the word and. Easy, easy, easy. What you're going to do now, rewrite the whole sentence without the full stop. So, he completed the course. Then, you're gonna, where you took the full stop away, you add the word that is in brackets at the back. And now you're going to start with a new sentence, but you need to remember it needs to be a lowercase because you're now making two sentences one. He received a certificate. Okay, so that is the first way in which we can ask you this. Now the second way is we will give you a list of words, a list of connectors or conjunctions that we will then follow up with sentences, and you need to take just those that we mentioned and add them in. Okay, so for example, Tom went to the dance. Space, he wanted to see Kathy. Now in your exercise you will see there is a little space above that gives you the couple of examples of conjunctions that you need to add. So the conjunction that you will add in here will then be because. Tom went to the dance because he wanted to see Kathy. Now let's have a look at an interesting topic. So it's different types of sentences. Now there's 4 different types of sentences I want you to look at: statement, question, exclamation, and command sentence. Now how we will ask this in a test usually is by giving you a sentence and you need to identify what type of sentence it is. Let's look at the first one, a statement sentence. Now it gives information, so it states something. Sean is going to school. Simple, easy, it's a statement. Okay. Number 2, a question sentence. Now this is pretty easy because it always has a question mark at the end. Where is Sean going? Question mark. That is always a question sentence. The third one is an exclamation sentence. Now that is also really easy because it always has an exclamation mark at the end. So it emphasizes surprise, fear, and anger. So get out! Exclamation mark. Okay, that is an exclamation sentence. And lastly, a command sentence. It gives orders. So for example, do not enter. Okay. Grade 4s. Now let's have a look at tenses. Now you remember when we talked about future tense, past tense, and present tense. So future tense, it is going to happen. Present tense is in the now, it's happening now. And past tense, it already happened. Now we're going to go into a more detailed analysis. So we're going to look at simple present tense, simple past tense, and simple future tense. Now it's really easy. You can go and have a look at the videos that I added to the PowerPoint. They explain it as well. So it's just the general way of saying. So in the present tense, it will be I drive. So the verb stays just drive. It's pretty simple, pretty easy. I drive, I walk, I eat. Now in past tense, the verb changes. I drove, I ate. Things like that. And then future tense, I shall drive. So then the word shall before the verb makes it future simple tense. Okay, grade 4s, now let's have a look at the activities. So the first activity that you have to do is on page 85. Now it's about auxiliary verbs. Now at the top you will see there's a block with examples of auxiliary verbs. Let's quickly read them together. Am, are, be, can, could, does, had, has, have, is, may, might, must, shall, should, was, were, will, and would. Now you're going to only do question 1. Rewrite the following sentences and underline the auxiliary verb. Okay, so now you're going to rewrite A to E and you're going to underline the auxiliary verb. Now you can use that top block as a guidance. So let's look at the first one. We are playing on when the bell rings. Now let's have a look at the verb. The verb is playing, and then the word in front of the verb is are, and let's see if we can find a are in the box. Yes, there is an are. Okay, so that is the auxiliary verb that you underline. Good, so let's look at the next activity. It's a prepositions worksheet. Now it looks like this. It's pretty simple and easy. You need to fill in the blanks using the prepositions from the word bank. Okay, so the prepositions in the word bank is by, from, to, with, in, of, for, out, on, and off. Let's look at number 1. I went to the store with my family. Now I did a couple of these examples when I explained prepositions, so I think you will be able to complete that. Just try your best and you can use them more than once. Okay. The next activity is page 83. Now it's a reading comprehension. So let's quickly read the story. Page 83. Follow with me. Traditional games. Itzel Cruz from Mexico remembers playing a game called Sun and Ice. When I was a child, I liked to play a game called Sun and Ice. To play, you form 2 teams. When the player is in one team touches you and say freeze, you can't move. You stand still until one of the players in your team touches you and say sun. Then you are free to run again. Tankay Göksel from Turkey played a favorite game called Korebe. The game is played by 5 to 10 children. One person is it. The eyes of the child are covered with a blindfold. The blindfolded person tries to catch the other players. If someone is caught, that child becomes the new it and the game starts over. So that is almost like playing catch, but you are blindfolded. Now you need to do the questions at the bottom. It's 3 questions. This is for marks, so it's a formal assessment. So please try your best. Number 1, what 2 countries are mentioned in the text? Number 2, what are the names of the games described in the text? Number 3, describe how they are played. Now you need to describe in your own words. So you can't just write down what it says in the passage. You need to describe it in your own words, how these games are played. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the next activity is connectors. It's a connecting activity. Remember about the conjunctions. So that I emailed through to your mom or dad. Because it's not printed, unfortunately. I do apologize for that, but you can only write the answer in your book. Don't worry about printing if you do not have the facilities. Okay, then the next activity is on page 55. Let's go to page 55. Okay, now it's about tenses. Now, future tense, past tense, and present tense. Now, you're going to copy the table, but you don't have to copy because you have it already in your purple file. It looks like this. Okay, so let me quickly explain to you. It's pretty easy. So the verb, the words change, the verb doesn't change. So it was like, it was stormy last night, it is stormy now, and it will be stormy tomorrow. So the words are important, like when it rained. So let's look at the first one. It rained last night. So last night will obviously change to now. It is raining now in the present tense. And then future tense, it will rain tomorrow. Okay, so keep in mind those words. Let's look at the second one as well. So that second one is written in present tense. The wind is blowing hard. So in the past tense, the wind blew hard, and in the future tense, the wind will be blowing hard. Okay, so I think that is pretty easy. Remember to paste in and look in your purple file for that column that is already done for you. Then let's look at the next activity, page 66. Okay, now on page 66, it's once again the tenses. Now, it is simple present tense. Now you need to look at the verbs, okay? The verbs, you're going to choose the correct verb, so the correct tense and the correct verb. So you only do question 1. Choose the correct present tense form of the verb. 2 frogs fall or falls into the pit. The other frogs jump or jumps up and down. 1 frog jump or jumps harder and harder. Okay, remember when there is an S, it's usually a singular form. So 1 frog jumps. When it's 2 frogs, jump without the S. Okay. Then the last activity on page 87, okay, is about future tense. Okay, future tense describes what will happen in the future. Look at these examples. He ran across the field. He runs across the field. He will run. So he will run across the field is an example of future tense then. Now, number 1, rewrite these sentences in the future tense. So you're going to start with tomorrow. Today I walk to school. So you're going to say, tomorrow I will walk to school. Okay, good. And last year will become next year. And last week will become next week. Then question 2 you skip because it's something that's sort of like a group activity. You don't have to do question 2. Then we can look at question 3. Write these sentences in the future tense. The bell rang. The children go out to play. So the bell will ring and the children will go out to play. Then question 4. Write a short paragraph of about 5 sentences. Explain what you want to be when you finish school. It should start like this. When I finish grade 12, I will. So then you can write a sentence about whatever you're going to become one day. So that whole paragraph will be in future tense. So that is all of the activities that you have to do. Please remember you can WhatsApp me at any time. We can have a private Zoom if you want, and then you can leave the questions for our Zoom session. Good luck.